if you are running B2B SaaS business, if you are a founder for such like firms, this long video is for you. Okay, so let me tell you about the worst day in B2B SaaS founders. Okay, so he built his company to 2 million in annual recurring revenue, and investors were happy. Team was growing. By every conventional metrics, he was winning. Okay, and his biggest competitor raised with $30 million or some, or most probably more than that for B2B sectors. And within 6 months, they had undercut his price by 40%, launched a free tire that whipped out his half his pipeline and started offering premium support package. Okay, so and he couldn't afford too much. He didn't lose because his product was worse. Okay, he lost because he had built a one-dimensional business instead of three-dimensional game, or in this three-dimensional game. Okay, here's what most people building B2B SaaS get wrong. Then think the goal is to build a better product, charge a subscription, and grow annual recurring revenue. And that's true. But it's only one layer of the game. The company that are actually printing money in B2B SaaS right now, they are not just selling software. They are selling software plus done for implementation and strategy, consulting, three layers, and three revenue streams. Okay, so one product flywheel. So when you stack the three layers correctly, something remarkable happens. Your churn drops, your SEV, which is annual contract value, triples, your valuation multiple goes from 5K, five times to 12 times, and the one playing the one layer game, they literally cannot compete with you on price anymore because you are not selling the same thing in the first place. Okay, today I'm going to show you exactly how HubSpot, Hyros, and Let's Get cracked this model, and then I'm going to give you the exact framework to do it in your own B2B SaaS company starting this quarter. Okay, so why? Why pure SaaS is getting squeezed? Let me show you something that should make every SaaS founders uncomfortable. Okay, so set this percent, which is 164% increase in Google Ads CPC from 2019 to 14 to 24. Okay, so your customer to acquire a customer, your cost to acquire a 5 years. Okay, the 20% increase in B2B SaaS sales cycles length since 2022. These are taking too longer to close because a lot of noise out there. Okay, so 10 up to 13 stakeholders now involved in average B2B SaaS purchase. Once champion is not enough anymore. Okay, so you know that what that means. The old model of running LinkedIn ads, book demos, close deals, and collect 500 a month per seat. That model is getting squeezed from both in simultaneously. Your CAC is going up, your sales cycle is getting longer, and the moment you get the customer, every competitor with VC money is trying to steal them with free tires and lower price. Okay, so here's what makes this genuinely insane. While all of that is happening, the benchmark that investors actually reward have got more demanding. They want your LTV to CAC ratio above 3 to 1. Okay, so they want call to acquire customer payback under 12 months. They want net revenue retention because they get a profit. Okay, so and more than 100% of it is okay. If you're applying pure subscription SaaS in a community market, these numbers are getting harder to hit because you are not getting wrong because the model is mathematically deficient. Let me put this another way with a quick example. You sell project management SaaS at 500 a month per seat. A customer buys 10 seats, 5,000 MRR, 60 annual recurring revenue. Your CAC to acquire a customer, to acquire them was 18K. Okay, CAC payback of 3.6 months, actually pretty good. Okay, so but your annual churn rate is 15%. That means roughly one in seven customers don't renew. Okay, so then what nobody model or cost to reacquire a churn customer is 2 to 5 times the original one. Okay, because they already tried, you had an issue and left. Every churn enterprise customer talks to five peers who now have a negative reference, while liars as companies run this hamster while forever. Okay, so revenue goes up, but profits never quite catch up because churn keeps creating a ceiling. Okay, now I want to show you what happens when you break through that ceiling. And the best place to start in with a company that figured this out often 15 years ago and quietly built a business model that almost nobody has actually reverse engineered. Talking about HubSpot. Do you know HubSpot? If you don't HubSpot, please try to Google it. That is the data management system. When Brian Halligan and Dharmesh founded HubSpot in 2020, they had what looks like a pretty standard SaaS idea, marketing software subscription model, pretty crowded space. Okay, so by 2023, HubSpot was doing over 2 billion in annual revenue. Okay, when they entered acquisition talk with Google's parent company in a deal valued at roughly $37 billion, people were saying, "Whoa, what a product!" But the product was never the whole story. There is the thing most people miss about HubSpot. Yes, there is software. Their software is excellent, but HubSpot builds three revenue layers that compounds on each other in a way that made their retention number looks almost supernatural. Layer one is the soft sales hub, service hub, your classic SaaS subscription, range from 20 a month to 50, almost $5,000 plus per month, depending on the title. Layer two is the partner and service ecosystem. HubSpot builds a certified agency program, hundreds of implementation agencies that charge 5,000 to 15,000 on to onboard a new HubSpot customers. HubSpot doesn't do this work. Certified partners do. Partners to do, but HubSpot gets a customer stickiness that comes from a deeply implemented platforms. The deeper the implementation, the harder it is to learn. Okay, the layer three is HubSpot Academy and consulting free training that create organizational lock-in where your entire marketing team in is HubSpot certified. Your company is not just buying a software; they are investing in an entire operating methodology that is consulting grade stickiness at software grade cost. The result, HubSpot net revenue retention constantly sits above 10 100%, more than 100%, and customers don't stay, don't just stay, they expand. The software is the entireties are the mode. Consulting is the relationship that makes switching unthinkable. Okay, and here is a crucial insight. They didn't add these layers because they had $50 million to spend. They added them because they understand something about B2B SaaS that founders don't internalize until it's too late. Each layer makes the others more valuable. The software is more valuable because the implementation services granted it gets used. The implementation service are more valuable because there is a great software underneath, and strategy consulting is more valuable because it sits on the top boss. That's the revenue stack model, and you don't have to be HubSpot to build it. Okay, the revenue stack layer has three layers. The first one is SaaS subscription. The second one is done for your service, and the third one is strategic consulting. Let me break down this one. Okay, layer one is SaaS subscription, the foundation, predictable, scalable, the core asset. This is what you already have. And the problem with this layer is pure subscription create commodity pricing pressure. If anyone comes from VC backed and cut off the pricing with such amount, they will win. It's a commodity game or it's race to bottom. Okay, so the competitor can always undercut you without service and consulting in softwares. Everything has a ceiling. Okay, so that ceiling is usually far below your company's true value potential. Layer two, which is this case, layer two is your done for you service. This is where your team handles the actual execution of the use case. Your software enable no training, not onboarding emails, actually doing the work. For a marketing SaaS, that means running campaign. For a revenue intelligence SaaS, building the tracking setup. For a sales automation SaaS, writing and launching the sequence. Whatever your software is supposed to help them accomplish, you do it for them. Okay, so why does this compound? Because customer who see results from your product stay done for your service guarantee result because you control the execution. And churn from I couldn't figure out goes to near zero. The layer three strategy consulting, this is the retention game. Okay. This is where you use your software data and methodology to advise clients on strategy. Here is not just giving them a tool, you are telling them how to win with it. Okay, monthly strategy calls, quarterly gross revenue. This is done by yourself, not the employee. Bespoke playbook built in on platforms, proprietary data. Okay, so why does this compound? Okay, consulting clients almost never churn because they have direct relationship with you guys. You now have a boardroom level relationship. The software is no longer a line item, it's infrastructure for a strategic partnership. Now let's show you what this does to your actual numbers. Software layer one, which is 100 customers with $500 per month, which is 600K annual recurring revenue, and 30% will take down for you probably, and you get $1 million another in profits. And if you add 10% of them, it will be also close to $1 million. So you get 2.6 million dollar on annual recurring revenue with 100 customers, and you get more case studies and a lot of will have good relationship with you, and you get a good reputation on your business, and your business will explode with a lot of referrals. Okay, here is the kickers, and this two layers, and this layer two and layer three customers. Okay, they almost never churn because you are delivering the outcome, not just the access. Their lifetime value is 3 to 5 times higher than your pure software customers. Your valuation multiple just went from 7x on the pure SaaS to 12x on the hybrid model. Okay, now let me show you what this looks like in early stage with a company. If you know Alex Becker, this is for you guys. Hyros, if you are in the performance marketing world, you know it has ad tracking platform. Okay, the attribution of four high ticket businesses compete with Triple Wells, Nosebeam, and a bunch of others. Most people think Hyros is a SaaS tool. You pay a monthly subscription, you get tracking data done. But that's not the full picture. Hyros noticed something early on this game. Alex Becker comes with some concepts. Their customers fell into two categories. Category one, people who set up a tracking, understand the data, and go to amazing result, allowed Hyros expand, and they refer people, they become a case study. The set up the tracking and looks and looked at the dashboard, had no idea what to do with the data, and churned it at month three. Same product, completely different outcome. Here's what Hyros did that most SaaS companies would never think to do. Instead of building more tutorials and better UX, the standard playbook, they said, what if we just do it for them? Okay, they introduced a managed service layer for significantly more money per month. Hyros would not just give you the tool; they would assign you an analyst who would actually interpret your tracking data, identify what was working on your ad account, and tell exactly where to shift. Also, Alex Becker will have high ticket consulting team on ad trafficking thing somewhere over there. Okay, so the customers who took the managed service didn't just stay longer. They scaled their ad spend, and because Hyros was not responsible for the outcome, not just the data. They had complete incentive alignment with their customer growth. The high ticket company spend 50K a month on ads, doesn't cancel a 2K a month service that directly improving their ROAS, which is return on ad spend. Okay, so that's not a software subscription anymore. That's essentially infrastructure. People who need it the most had holding become their highest revenue accounts. Okay, so think about that in the context of your own SaaS. Who are the customers in your churn bucket? I will bet most of them, and they're not because your product doesn't work, but because they never fully implemented it. What would happen if instead of sending them onboarding emails, you offer to do it for them? Imagine. And this is another success story with Let's Get, a B2B data provider for cold outbound. You use Let's Get to find verified prospect lists for your outbound campaign on the surface, and pretty simple SaaS. You pay a subscription. You search a database and you export contact. But here's what Let's Get understood about their market, and that made them dramatically more successful than their competitors. The problem their customer has had wasn't actual access to data. The market is full of data providers, Apollo, Zooming, Clay. Instantly, data has become something close to commodity. The real problem their customer had was what to do. What do I do with the data once I have it? Because it is the reality of B2B outbound in 2024 and 2025. Buying a list and blasting email doesn't work. You need an ICP refined to surgical precision. You need a sequence with personalized and psychological triggers. You need a technical email infrastructure that doesn't go to spam. You need someone to manage replies and booking meetings. That's not a data problem. That's the execution problem. Okay, so let's get as a done for you outbound service on the top of the data subscription. They would take a client ICP, build the list from their own database, write the sequence, set up the sending infrastructure, warm the domains, launch the campaign, and handle the positive reply management and meeting booking. Okay, the client didn't have to do anything except show up on the sales call. Leskit was booking for them. What happened to their pricing? It went from subscription level, agency level, 3K, 5K, 8K per month. Okay, not the data access, but the pipeline generation has the money service. Okay, so what happened to their churn? Nearly zero among them for your clients because the company doesn't cancel the service. That booking is a qualified meeting, sales meeting every week. What happened to their annual contract value? A customer who may have been a $200 a month subscription become $5,000 a month managed clients, 25x increase in revenue per customer. And the list cost structure didn't multiply by 25x to deliver this thing. Okay, because it's built on top of infrastructures they already had. This is the partner I want to internalize data platforms. Data platforms becomes execution service. Okay, tracking softwares become gross management team. CRM becomes revenue operation, and consulting team market automation becomes demand generation service. Okay, in every case, the company looked at their most successful customers and the one getting real result and asked what are they doing that actually that our churning customer are not. Then they package that gap as a service. That's the done for you thing. Okay, so how to build your revenue stack in 5 steps. Step one is finding your outcome gaps. Pull up your churn data from last 12 months and call 5 or 10 people. It depends on your data, and not to win them back, just to understand what one thing that what at what point did they feel like the product wasn't delivering the value. I can't tell you what most founders here. So we got busy, we didn't get our team to adopt it, we tried it a month and never really implement it properly or something like that. That's your outcome gap. Okay, the delta between what your product can do and what your customer actually getting to do it, that's the gap. You can fill it with done for your service. You are not going to close it for them for money. Okay, so step two, price it at to 3 to 5 times your software subscription. The number one mistake founders make when adding a service layer is they underprice it out of guilt. Okay, so they think I'm already charging for the softwares. I shouldn't charge too much for the service on top. That is backwards thinking. Here is the right pricing logic. Your done for you service should be priced against the outcome. It delivers, not the cost of your labor. Okay, if your CRM software's at 500 a month, helps a sales team close more deals. What is a well implemented CRM was to do a sales team? Probably 50K in incremental revenue per year, a minimum. Okay, so charging 2K a month for done for implementation service that delivers 50K in incremental revenue is 2 to 1 ROI. That's a bargain for customers, and conversation is not here what we charge. Okay, so the conversation is here for what we get, and sell it before you build the team. This is most founders over engineer before providing demand. Do not hire the service team before you get the clients. Start personal delivering it the service, or having your best customer success people deliver it to 5 pilot clients at full price. Your first 5 done for a client teach you 3 things. The one is what task actually need to be done first versus what you thought needed to be done. And two is what outcomes client actually measure satisfaction by. And three, what your real cost of delivering is, so you can price features entirely confidently. After 5 clients, you have a service blueprint. Then you hire, charge first, build second. That's a motto. Add layers three, the consulting flywheel. Layer three doesn't require you to build anything new. It requires you to reframe what you already know. Here is the question to ask yourself: what patterns do you see across all your best customers that they can't see on their own? You have the data, hundreds of and thousands of company. You can see what configure setup leads to best outcome. What usage partners predict expansion? What metrics predict churn before the customer even now they are at risk? That aggregates intelligence is consulting gold, and your customer can't get it anywhere else. Productize it into strategic advisory, retainer monthly, a 90 minutes strategy session, quarterly business review, access to your property benchmark and playbooks, a dedicated advisor from your senior team. 5K and 15K a month, depending on your customer segment. Who buys it? Your top 10 to 15% of your software customers, the ones already getting result, who want to get more result, the ones who asked what are other companies in my situation doing. On every support call, the question is a consulting by signals. Every time you hear it, you should have an offer ready. Restructure your positioning. Once you have three layers, your positioning has to change. You are no longer a software company. You are a growth partner with a software backbone. That's the thinking. That's a fundamental difference conversion, and it's close to fundamental. As okay, you'll get three common objections. One is distract from building a business, the product. Honestly, yes. If you don't get your PMF, which is product market fit, that will be a problem. And this is not for you guys. But if you have a product that works and customers who loved it, I think service layer doesn't distract from the product. It will give you reliable and R&D loop. So the insight from your done for you client become your product roadmap because you are now in their business, watching them use your softwares, seeing exactly what breaks and creates the aha moment on your product way faster. That's the thing. The objection two is service don't scale the way software does. This reveals misunderstanding about the service game. You are not building a custom agency, okay? So you are building a productized service. Same deliverables, same process, same person, same team repeated for each client's productized service, absolutely scale. Okay, here is a data point that usually indicates this objection. HubSpot professional service gross margin is 20 to 30% lower than customer margin. Yes, but 20% gross margin on 400 million in service revenue is a lot more valuable than 80% margin on zero service revenue. Objection three, and the last one will be we don't have a team to deliver it. Of course, no one's have, but you can recruit after you get your clients. It's not an objection, and the company dominate B2B SaaS right now are not winning because they have the better and fancy moves. HubSpot didn't beat their competitors by out engineering them. They beat them by building reliable revenue machine where software creates a relationship service, guarantee the outcome, and consulting makes them replaceable. Okay, Hyros didn't win in the crowd attribution market by having the best algorithms. They won by becoming responsible for their customer results, not just their dashboard. Liskit didn't beat Apollo and ZoomInfo on data quality alone. They beat the data providers never saw. They removed the outcome gap entirely. The founders to apply the one layer subscription game are going to look up in 24 months and wondering why their CAC keeps rising, their churn stays stubborn, and their LTV never reaches the multiple they're expecting. The revenue stack changes all three numbers and simultaneously the higher prices because you are selling outcome and not access. Lower churn because your customers are getting result. Higher LTV because consulting clients expand instead of contract. They Here is what I want to do. I want you to do this week. Open your CRM, find your last 10 churned customers, write exactly what stage churn did they implement, did they activate, did they hit the meaningful result. If more than six of this from the 10, which is 60%, hitting their first real result, you have an outcome gap. And the outcome gap is six-figure service business. Okay, sitting inside your existing product right now. They call three of your happiest and most successful customers ask them one question beyond the software: what else could we do that would make your result 2 times better? Their answer are your tool, layer 2 and layer 3. If this changed the way you think about your business, drop a comment below and your B2B SaaS category, so I can personally help you to do the thing. Okay, so for I think this one, sorry for this, but I didn't get my thing. So this is a revenue stack model, so you can use it or you can DM me. I can help you to do these things for